Hey everybody, big news. Mexico manager Juan Osorio has been dealt a six match, almost said 6 month, 6 match suspension by FIFA, meaning he will not be managing on the sidelines the Mexico national team at the Gold Cup, which starts later on today. Even if they get to the final at 6 games, he would be suspended for the whole duration of the tournament. And this is big. It's big. How hard would this affect the Mexican national team? That's a difficult question to answer because there are a lot of variables included into this. I think as far as Mexico coming out of their group and advancing into the latter stages of the tournament, I don't think it'll affect it in that sense. But as far as semifinal, final, winning it, it could play a huge role because you take aside the whole talent aspect of it, and this Mexican C team is very talented. They can win this tournament. When your manager is removed, when they are suspended at the last minute of a tournament, you would think at least, that it's a psychological mindfuck for the players. Even if you think Osorio is not the right man for the job, the manner in which he's being excused from this tournament, or being removed, is not the right way. If you're going to sack Osorio because you don't think he's taking this team in the right direction, that's different. That could be even refreshing for a national team. But when a manager is sent off in this way, because you have to think of it like this. A manager is not just someone who sets lineups, sets strategic formations. A manager is a leader who has to instill confidence into his team and assurance, stability. And the reason why he got removed for his remarks during the third, fourth placed game of the Confederations Cup and the whole manner in which this is all unfolding, it doesn't bode well for the national team, only because it's just not a good look. You know, it's hard to put into words. It doesn't send the right image for the manager sending his players. So now I'm thinking, well, maybe Mexico's assistant manager, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet at all, he's going to take the reins of the job for the Gold Cup tournament. But the fact that Osorio's not there, yeah, it means that he won't be able to tinker with lineups. But like I said, it also means that Mexico's going to be missing a crucial aspect of their management. This actually, as funny as it sounds, could end up being a blessing in disguise for Juan Carlos Osorio, because if Mexico doesn't do well in this tournament, then he can use that as an excuse. So for all you guys who want to see Osorio go, this could be bad news for you, because Mexico, say, goes out in the quarterfinals, semis, crashes out in the group stage, whatever. Osorio can be like, well, that's because I wasn't there. And the Mexican Federation might give him a chance once his suspension is lifted. So that'd be even worse news for anti-Osorio sentiments for the Mexico national team, both in the fan base, both in the Federation, etc. So, you know, I don't see how this can be a good thing unless somehow the team gets inspired by this and they rally, keep their composure, and just play the tournament the normal way that they would, given normal circumstances. But, I mean, we just don't know. We don't know for sure the effect this is going to have on the Mexican national team. So, how do I think this could affect the team? It depends. Could I see it potentially meaning an early exit for Mexico? Yes, but it's also the Gold Cup, and there's a lot of depth on this Mexican team. You should still expect them to get to the semifinals, at least. You should still expect them to. But since they're in a very tight group, I said the most difficult group of the Gold Cup, could we see a scenario where Mexico, say, instead of winning the group, they finish in second, behind Curacao or Jamaica or El Salvador? Yeah, I mean, I think we could see that happen now. We could see Mexico slip up a little bit in the groups. But if you look at the bracket, the way it's set up, even the second place team from Group C would still end up on the same side of the bracket as the winner of Group C. I think Mexico would only be in really big trouble if they finished third in Group C, if this just totally psychologically fucks them up, and they end up on the top half of the bracket, which most likely is going to include Costa Rica, USA, and Panama. Oh my God, can you imagine the 4 teams at the top of the bracket, Costa Rica, Panama, USA, Mexico? Shh. And only one of those teams could go to the final? So, I don't think in the initial stages this should provide much harm for the Mexican national team. But I think as the tournament goes on, it might take a toll. But honestly, overall, it's a tricky question to answer because we don't know. We just don't know. But I don't see how, one thing that I'm sure of, I don't see how it could be a positive. It's either going to be a neutralizing effect or it's going to be a negative effect. And that's not to say that Osorio is a good manager. You'll find out how I feel about Osorio in a later video I make later this month, whether or not I think he should go. The reason I'm waiting later on is because I think we should wait till after the Gold Cup to assess. But since he's not even going to be there, then it begs the question, if he's not there and Mexico crashes out, does he get the blame for it? So answer that in the comment section below, guys. Do you think he should still get the blame if Mexico underwhelms in this tournament, or should he be given another shot? Me personally, I have to think about that. I have to think about it. But already off the mark, he's not setting a good example for this team. From his actions, from his behavior, and from him not being there. And it has nothing to do with him being a good coach or not. It's just his presence makes a difference, whether for better or for worse. So, as far as my predictions go I already made my predictions. I can't go back on them now. So I'm going to stick with Mexico. I still think Mexico should have enough